Hello, it is me. I am here. Sorry, I'm running a bit late. It's Friday though. This should be this should be expectation by now for Fridays. Exiled Faye, hello. How is it going? How long before Smeagol is free for the weekend? I wouldn't be surprised if you know down to the exact second. I'm certainly counting down the hours until I'm finished with my stuff today. I used to sometimes cheat a little and do a little extra work on Saturdays, and I've kind of put a ban on doing that. No more Saturday work. Saturday is like 100% me day right now. So technically 2.5 hours, but in about half I can do some required training that is just watching harassment videos that are the same every year. Nice! And you can basically wrap up your week with that. That sounds amazing. Nice way to ease into the weekend. I haven't saved this yet. I better do that. Nice. Yeah. Hey, make yourself some popcorn. Gotta do that work right. Oh my goodness. Ghost has staff D&D tonight. A bunch of the people that he works with have a D&D game that they do every Friday. Not every Friday, every other Friday. And they have that tonight. So Ghost Pepper and I switched cooking nights. He's gonna cook tonight and I'm gonna cook tomorrow. So we're gonna have some nice burgers on the grill tonight. I'm looking forward to that. And tomorrow I'm gonna do that baked feta trick from TikTok, where you basically bake feta with some tomatoes. A different type of food. Tomatoes, very different from potatoes. You roast it with some tomatoes and some onions and some garlic, and it makes this really amazing pasta sauce. I can't do it very often because I very rarely can get lactose-free feta cheese, but every now and then I treat myself a bit, so we'll be having that. Got paid today, so we're ordering pizza. Nice! And then we can't for the rest of the month because we got screwed a bit. Oh no! Exiled Faye, feel free to tell us what happened if you want. Oh my god, my brain just blue screened again. Feel free to tell us what happened on the bill if you want, but also tell us what kind of pizza you're gonna get. I don't think Violife is a brand that we get up here. There are brands that do lactose-free. I feel like I'm really off-center. Why is that? There are brands that do lactose-free stuff here. It's just that they don't carry a lot of it at the store. So what tends to happen is I go looking for the lactose-free and they just don't have it. They're just out of it. Which sucks, but feta is one of the few cheeses that is easier to digest. Not that I just eat it without my pills. I'll take pills. But feta is one of the few cheeses. There's a couple cheeses that are like sort of easier to stomach. Feta and Parmesan tend to be a bit easier because of the process of making them. A lot of the sugars in the milk have already been consumed anyway by the process of conversion. Cheddar is another one that's supposed to be really mild, but I have to do medium or mild cheddar because if I do like aged cheddar, which is the stuff that Ghost Pepper likes, my stomach doesn't like that for other reasons. It is sharp. Yeah, so it's a little treat to myself to do the baked feta trick. With some roasted tomatoes, and it'll be yummy. And then of course, I don't know what we'll be doing for movie night on Sunday, but we finished watching, we had been watching History of the World Part 2 by Mel Brooks, which was pretty good. They only did a tiny little bit of Jews in Space, but maybe they'll do more Jews in Space next season if they get a season 2. Which was one of the things they previewed for being part of Part 2 of History of the World. Oh, nice! Minor spoiler, they do a sketch of Jews in Space. I was really excited. I was really excited to see that because in the original movie, it was one of the things that they like teasered as being part of Part 2. We really enjoyed it. Ghost Pepper even said that as someone who's a really big history buff, they did a lot of, like, there was a lot of really well-researched stuff in there. So I think it's something that you can enjoy with a lot of history knowledge and without a lot of history knowledge. The cameos, man, some of the cameos in that were amazing as well. Like some of the actors that they got to show up for like a sketch or two. Amazing, top notch. One of the main guys who's played a bunch of characters, he's played Judas, if you've seen any of the Jesus sketches. He was Simon in What We Do in the Shadows, in the American What We Do in the Shadows TV show. Jack Black, right? He was so good. And I was just like, oh my god, OMG. So, yeah, there's been some really good appearances and stuff in there. We really enjoyed it. I hope they get a season 2. I really hope they get a season 2. I would love to see them do more of it. I love that the opening of the show was them photoshopping Mel Brooks onto, we think, possibly Channing Tatum. Like, his face onto Channing Tatum's face. It was amazing. So I'm really hoping they give them a season 2. We enjoyed it quite a bit. Really surprised that they wanted to do a second like part of that this like late after the first one, but I enjoyed it. I really like History of the World Part 1 is one of those like really old movies. I don't even know where I'd find it now because we don't have it on DVD and I don't think it's on any streaming platform. But it's one of those like really old classics. Like I would just watch that over and over. So I was really happy when they gave them a show. But yeah, I'm rambling, I know, but so we finished that. I think we've been talking about watching John Wick, because I had never really been interested in John Wick pretty much at all, because it just seemed like a randomly violent movie to me. And now they're apparently making a 4th one, and apparently there's lore for these movies. So we agreed that, because Ghost really likes them. He's seen them, I haven't. So we've agreed that he's going to show me the John Wick movies. And I believe that is what we're going to be watching this Sunday, is the first one. Because I need to know the lore. Neo, hello! I think Hulu has it, but maybe not in Canada. Ghost thinks he has a copy of it, so we'll see if he can find it, if he can track it down. If Moses were alive today, he'd come down from the mountain with the 10 Commandments and spend the next 5 years trying to get them published. Neo, is that from your book? He wouldn't be able to get them published. He'd have to go back up the mountain and smash them. How you doing, Neo? What is up? Oh, I love the little smug duck. That's hilarious. Don't let Joe hug that duck. That would wipe the smug smirk off of its face. So yeah, I think that was a very long-winded way of saying I think we're going to start watching the John Wick movies because apparently there's lore. If Moses came down with the tablets today, certain political entities would be thou shalt not kill, but that's unconstitutional. You mean I can't just do whatever I want? Outrageous. Today, unrelated to everything else I've been talking about, because as usual, rambly. Oh my gosh, speaking of getting skewered by a bill, oh, there's lyrics in this song. Hang on, bud. You can't lyrics over me talking. I'm the only one who gets to ramble on the stream. I shouldn't talk about this again because I was talking about it with Joe yesterday, but Ghost Pepper has like a 3-hour dentist appointment on Sunday, which he is not looking forward to. He needs like a root canal and like 3 fillings, and it's gonna be ouchy on the wallet. But it's gotta happen. It's his mouth needs the attention, so but yeah, unrelated to all of the rambling I've been doing, we're working on some Cryptonia lore today. We haven't been doing it in a while because we've been doing poetry, which was amazing. I enjoyed the poetry. And I do think in the future I'd love to do more. Maybe not sonnets, because I feel like the sonnets were brain hard. But I'd love to look into other styles of poetry to give a try on the stream because they were super fun. Just brush your teeth, Ghost. So I kind of mentioned this on in Joe's chat yesterday when we were talking, but Ghost Pepper and his mother, because he inherited it from his mother, have kind of a not so great mouth environment. So some people have like a different pH balance. The pH balance in your mouth essentially determines your tooth health. And so some people have a more acidic pH balance, and it makes it harder for them to take care of their teeth, and it makes it easier for them to have cavities and other problems. So Ghost Pepper does take really good care of his teeth. I guess I should have like prefaced me saying he needs so much dental work done with. Ghost Pepper does take good care of his teeth. He brushes, he flosses. I might be a little better at brushing, but he's definitely better at flossing. So we're probably about equal in terms of tooth care. But he has a lot more dental problems than me because his mouth environment is hostile to his teeth, essentially. I don't know the exact details. I don't know that he's ever been like specifically diagnosed with anything, but his mom does like a 45-minute tooth routine every night, and she still has tons of problems with her teeth. So some people are just unlucky. My hereditary mouth issue is iffy gums. Yeah, that's another one. They're okay so far, but my dad had to have gum grafts. I may need them in the future. That sucks. I hope you're able to avoid that. But yeah, some people just get, it's luck of the draw, right? Not all mouths are created equally. So unfortunately for Ghost Pepper, he's one of those people who does not have the best mouth environment. And he's admittedly put off going to the dentist because dental work is expensive. And it's not fun, and he has a lot of other stuff going on in his life. So it just kind of happened that he was starting to get some pain in one of his teeth, and he went and got, the whole diagnostic done, and they were basically like, look, we can do this stuff individually, but it will actually cost more because we have to put the freezing in every time. What they call Novocaine up here, freezing. So they were like, we should just numb you once, do it all in one go, and it's actually slightly cheaper to do it that way. So he's like, I've got a 3-hour marathon on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. At least he's getting it out of the way, like, early. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna enjoy it. When the dentist is fun, when the dentist is far away. I know some people who love getting cleanings done and who love the, like, feeling of tooth clean after. I hate the dentist. I'm terrified of all the tools. My dentist knows this, and he's really good about it. One of the weirdos who loves having my teeth professionally cleaned. There we go. Some people really like it. I am afraid of everything in the dentist's office, but the dentist's office that me and Ghost go to are really good, because they know that I'm very, very skittish, and so I always go in there with my iPad and headphones, and like the hygienists all have this like system where they'll touch me on the shoulder and I give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I've never had to give them a thumbs down. And then if they need to like talk to me, we just very gently peel back the headphones and have a conversation, and like I just listen to my Spotify the whole time. And they're really good about it. Like they're super chill, they're super like reassuring. I'm sure Ghost Pepper just goes in there and opens his mouth and they do whatever because he doesn't give a shit, but I'm like very, very skittish. So I appreciate when dentists are like aware of the fact that people have had maybe not the greatest of experiences with dental stuff in the past. But yeah, if Ghost Pepper isn't around much this weekend, it's because that's happening. We actually were talking about doing a divorce court on Saturday night, and we may not do it because he has to get up early. But we're hoping sometime in the near future to start doing a Roots of Pacha game together because it looks really super fun and I'd like to try it. But Cryptonia, if I may bring the topic back to Cryptonia, yeah, we've done quite a few. I think we've done 4 of the gods so far. We've done the Celestial Mother, who is kind of like the center of the Cryptonian pantheon. She pops up a lot in all of the lore. And then we had the Reaper, who is the god of death, sort of a ambiguous, gender fluid deity being who appears differently to different people based on your race and your beliefs. And then we also talked about Agas, the horned god of war, who started his life mortal but ascended to godhood via becoming the champion of the Celestial Mother. And we also talked about the Seed Matron, who is sort of your Mother Nature type goddess, who is responsible for the seasons and the harvest and the rainfall and all that. And now we're going to sort of talk about the yin to her yan, which is Queach, the dragon lord of magic. So like the Seed Matron, this is a god that sort of ascended from lesser godhood. They're sort of the core pantheon of gods, and then there are all the lesser gods, right? And so Queach is sort of one of those. He started out as a lesser god, but he won his way into the inner circle via his skill and prowess. And sort of became celebrated. In terms of D&D, he's probably sort of considered to be the deity of arcane magic, sort of the gifter of arcane magic into the world. He's sort of the patron of mages, or originally credited with giving arcane magic to sorcerers or to wizards or whatever. He would be kind of like the penultimate wizard with the penultimate... I shouldn't say penultimate, because it's not the same as ultimate. He'd be like the ultimate wizard with the ultimate spell book, sort of the keeper of all the magical secrets. And he is sort of kind of locked in a forever war with the Seed Matron because she is seen as a very creative goddess, and he is seen as more of a destructive god because, you know, fireball and lightning and meteor storm. So we're going to be doing a little bit of his origin story today. I'm one of the people who brush my teeth too much. I have too aggressive a technique. It caused me problems in the past. No, that's fine. I'm the same, actually. It's not too bad, but there's like one particular spot in my mouth that I apparently brush like way too hard. And they're like, you need to just not brush that spot as hard. And I'm like, okay, I'll try. But I don't do it on purpose. So I'm like, it's too hot here. Do you not have air conditioning, Neo? I survived the summer only by virtue of my aircon. So what? But I know when we were in England, not a lot of people had aircon, so... So yeah, we're talking about Queach, who is sort of the foil to Tauldar, the Seed Matron. We're gonna write a couple of origin stories for him today. It's not that common here. I'm not surprised. But I'm also not surprised that you're having a hard time focusing then if it's super hot. Because, like, what do you do? What do you do to cool down? Dip your hands in an ice bowl. That was the interesting thing when we lived in the UK, was that all the advice is like, nobody has AC, so all the advice is like, put a bowl of ice in front of a fan, but like nobody has freezers either. So it's like, are you guys just opposed to being cold, like to being cool in the summer? 31°, ouch! That is hot to not have AC. That is hot to not have AC. I would be dying. Sending you cool thoughts, Neo. I am going to pop this over here so I can peek at it if I need to. I'm going to copy this name so that I don't have to remember how to spell it. So I think what we're actually going to do, something a little bit different today, is I'm going to do 30-minute writing sprints. I usually don't do 30-minute sprints when I'm writing. I usually do 20. But the format that I've kind of used for all of these Cryptonia shorts is essentially that we would write one origin story and then a little bit about the god, and then a second origin story. And since I'm basically trying to write 2 little short stories, what I've noticed is that the 20 minutes isn't quite long enough to do a single story. But then I'm kind of like cutting off in the middle of something I'm almost done with. So I'm gonna try a 30-minute sprint to write a full little short. And then we'll do 30 minutes for the informational part and 30 minutes for the second short. So we should hopefully be doing 3 sprints and getting everything on the page. I have a fair idea of the 2 stories that I want to use for this. It's a little bit, again, I always try to do like a sort of he said, she said sort of thing where there are 2 different origin stories from 2 different time periods or 2 different groups of thought. Because again, real mythology is like that. There's contradicting information about different gods and how they came into power and whatnot. So for Queach, what I want to do is basically have a sort of more celestial mother-centric story where it seems that he was sort of granted his grace and prestige by catching her attention. There's a lot of pleasing of the celestial mother in the early Cryptonian lore, because she's maybe in the early Cryptonian lore a bit more of a vengeful figure than a nurturing one. And then for the second origin story, the more sort of told from his own perspective story, Queach sort of challenges the Celestial Mother in order to win his way into the core circle of deities. So there's a little bit of a, I gave you this position because I thought you were cool, versus, nah, I earned this position because I knew what I had, essentially, what my talents were. So I'm just gonna get I have to adjust this setup a little bit since this is for the blog and not for other things. I did make the words a bit bigger. You might be able to read them. That'll all go on the blog eventually, so if you can't read it, don't worry. You'll get to read it eventually. Let me just have a little bit more coffee and then I'll start the timer. All right, let's give this a try. Let's do 30 minutes of clicky clack tippy tap typing. Man, it feels like Friday. I'm what, 6 minutes into this sprint? It feels like Friday. My brain's like, hey, you wrote 200 words. You're done now. Xarin, hello, hello. My brain has melted from the heat. Neo was just saying the same thing. What's the temperature where you are, Xarin? Why is there a random... That was so weird. 32 degrees! Oh my gosh, you must be in Neo's neck of the woods. Trying to give myself a kick in the butt to write something today. Do you have a fan to sit in front of? Because I find that helps when it's like insanely hot. But also, we're doing sprints, so hopefully that will inspire you. Even though I'm at 2:39 and my brain is like, you're done, right? That's it. That's the whole thing, right? No, Xarin, do you not have AC either? I'm sending you guys cool thoughts from my air-conditioned home. I would be dead if it was 32 degrees and I had no air conditioning. I would literally be laying on the floor just praying for the end. AC in homes in Belgium isn't a regular thing. See, Neo said the same thing. He's in France and he said the same thing. Hopefully you don't mind me saying that, Neo. It was the same when we were in the UK. I don't know how you guys survive. I did it for one summer and that was it. And I was like, never again. It was a requirement when we moved back to Canada and bought our new house. I was like, it has to have some form of air conditioning. And in the highest apartment of the building. Oh no, yeah, because the cold air hangs out at the bottom, like in the cellar, and the heat rises. Oh no. You're getting everyone else's heat too. Right, I'm supposed to be writing. Greg? Why did I type Greg? He's not in this. I should be editing, not writing, and while I enjoy writing, the editing thing keeps me from really enjoying the writing. I mean, if you're feeling brain tired, it's much easier to write than edit, I say from experience. So if you need to edit something, that's valid, but if you're hot and tired and just having trouble focusing, editing is going to be like 3 times harder. So not to like give you an excuse or anything, but it's perfectly valid to say, hey, I just can't handle that right now. Let me do this other thing today, and then when it cools off a little bit, or when I've rested, when I feel a little bit more put together or whatever, then I'll take care of the edits. It's perfectly valid, because writing is a completely different mindset from editing, and editing takes so much more brain power. So if you're feeling like you're melting and you don't really have the brain power, it's perfectly valid to say, I can't do this right now. I can do this other thing, but I can't do this right now. That's perfectly valid. That's not like running away from your responsibilities or whatever. I have the same silent conversation with myself all the time. Yeah, so I mean, it's perfectly valid. Like, forgive yourself for not feeling like you can handle the edits right now. And just make the promise to yourself that as soon as you feel together and with it, you'll handle them. It's going to take you twice as long to do those edits if you force your way through it when you don't feel it, versus if you wait until a time when your brain feels like it's firing with all synapses. Trust me, you're going to be so much less miserable if you give yourself permission to wait until you can't always wait. I get that. Like, we can't always wait for the optimum conditions. We sometimes have to push through. But if you're really, really feeling that, it's Friday. It's probably even closer to Saturday for you. And it's hot and you're tired and you're just trying to push through. Those are the times when it's like, okay, maybe it's just better to wait. Ultimately, only you know, but I would say if you're really, really, 8 p.m. on a Friday and 32 degrees, like 100% better writing conditions than editing conditions. I would say if you think you're going to have time Saturday morning, get a good night's sleep, try and get up when it's still a little bit cooler and take advantage of like the morning to try and do the editing. Just grab some coffee, and before your brain has a chance to get tired, just pound it out. And then, I shouldn't say pound it out on the internet, but I did, and just pound them out then, because it'll be way, way less miserable. Clack it out. There you go. Oh, that's a good... I like that, Conquest. And also, hello, Conquest. How's it going? Tomorrow night will be easier. There you go. I would totally... If tomorrow night would be easier to edit, I would say do the edits then. And let yourself... If you have not enough brain power to edit now, but you have the brain power to write, go for it. There's nothing wrong with doing things at the times that they feel more optimal. New Pokemon Day? Does that mean that you've got, like, new Pokemon stuff, or that you're, like, doing new Pokemon drawings? I don't know much about Pokemon, so you can tell me anything and I'd believe it. New cards! Nice! That's what I thought you probably meant. Does that mean you get to open packs? Oh, customers do. Oh, you don't get to open the PAX conquest? That makes me sad. But I guess that makes sense. People will be coming in. People will be coming in for new Pokemon cards. I hope you have many, many satisfied customers. Best for them if we did, they would be mad. That's true. I assume you can buy packs, though. Like, I mean, maybe you wouldn't want to buy your own packs. I guess maybe there's probably rules about that, but... I got distracted by that, by word, not knowing that word, and now I'm like, where was I? Is it procrastinating if you're doing other work, though? Like, technically that's other work. Sending a manuscript to a publisher is technically writing related. But cheers. Enjoy the writing. I'm up to 877 words, so even though my brain is, like, not necessarily on board, we're getting there. getting there. I was trying to multitask on my tablet, but it wasn't behaving. I suppose I should say at least pay... I suppose I should at least pay some attention to this training video. Hey, did you make popcorn, though? So we have one origin story completed at 1,090 words. That's pretty great. I'm gonna let the sprint timer finish, of course. I'll set up for what I'm gonna add to this document next. corporate training videos are so weird. A cutout photo of Elvis Presley just slid across the screen for no apparent reason. I mean, because I guess they try to make them entertaining, but it's not... How do you make that stuff entertaining, though? Like... Excellent. So I've got my first origin story all set here. Basically, we have Queach performing this epic, illusory performance at a competition. I just said performance. Yes, I did. At a competition among the gods in order to elevate himself from one of the lesser gods into the celestial mother's circle so that he could eventually become the Lord of all magic, one of the core gods within the pantheon. And then I'm sort of set up for the rest of the blog, so we're going to copy some of this information that I have already written about Queach. We're going to sort of clean that up and copy it over into the document for the blog. And then I have a second little short story about how Queach himself believes that he came to power versus being elevated by the celestial mother. We have the story of how Queach believes that he himself won his own position among the gods without needing help from anybody else. So what we're gonna do now is take a quick break because we've been going for about an hour and I need to use the restroom and reheat my coffee. And appease my Fitbit, of course. I gotta get my hourly steps in. So I'm gonna do that. I'll be gone probably about 3 or so minutes, and then we'll do more productivity, because that's technically what we're here for, right? Even though it's Friday, and I'm getting the impression that none of our brains want to work. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do something. It's gonna happen. I shall be back shortly. Get up, walk around, stretch, drink something, take care of yourselves, and I'll be back. I have returned. My coffee is hot again. The meat sack I'm driving is mostly happy. Aside from my brain needing to do brain things. Brain things. That's how you can tell it's Friday. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry I yawned. I'm sorry. Spreading the yawns. It's so funny. Yesterday we raided my good friend Jay Chili because he raided us at the beginning of my stream, so I raided him at the end of mine. Because he did an afternoon stream and then took a break and came back for the evening. And I guess normally what I do when I raid is as soon as I stop my stream, I also stop my Spotify because I have Spotify playing in the background. And then that way I hear the stream that I raided into. But I guess at some gap in brain function happened because I never turned off my Spotify. But I didn't realize it. I thought I had turned off my Spotify, possibly because the list that I've been using on my streams is actually the same list that Jay Chili plays on his streams. And so I was like, whatever. I wandered away to dinner. I came back. My Spotify was still going, unbeknownst to me. And so I'm watching Joe's stream and he's playing Final Fantasy and there's this really sad scene happening where this character is obviously dying and all of the NPCs and the player character animation are really sad. And in my ears is just this totally bopping song. And I was like, so finally in chat, I was like, this music does not match what's happening on the screen. And Joe was like, what music? This seems like there's no music playing. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, oh my god, I looked at my Spotify and it was still playing. It was so funny. So then, of course, because I'm using Joe's playlist, I checked the song and I told him what song was playing, and he turned it on, and he's like, yeah, I can see how this didn't go with the scene of... It was a totally boppin' song. Good beat, But I was like, this is not what you should be playing while somebody is dying. So that was pretty funny. Oh my goodness. Didn't even realize, that it was not the background of the stream. So I think that pretty much proves that my brain has been ready for my brain has been ready for the weekend for quite a while now. I also can't tell, the sky's a little bit gray today. I can't tell if we're getting a little bit of smoke haze or if it's just overcast. But the lack of blue sky and sun is not helping my brain feel overly productive. That's kind of one of the reasons why I like to do chill, not super brain heavy creative stuff on Fridays, because I've spent 4 days deep editing stuff. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday I did Arvalia Chronicles edits, and on Tuesday I did a big edit for my pen name, which I'm finished with that whole project now. So I've been very heavily using my brain all week. I've definitely put all that creative power into stuff, and now it's Friday morning and my brain's just really? We're still doing this? So it's nice to have something that's just a little bit more for fun. There's not a lot of pressure to get it right because it's lore for my D&D campaign. It's something that I can easily shift a little bit if I need to. It's more for me and for my blog, and not necessarily like, oh, I have to make sure that all the moving pieces of this series are actually in the right places so that it makes sense in the end. And it's more just chill and and that sort of thing. So yeah. That's kind of how I organize my week on purpose, because I know on Fridays I'm just gonna be like, do I really want to do this? And then this afternoon, after we're done with this, I'm actually going to write the release blog for Careless Electronica, because that's coming out. Book 8 in the Celestial Serenade is coming out June 19th. So that's happening. I forgot to mention it yesterday. And the day before. So if you are following the Celestial Serenade, or if you're interested in the Celestial Serenade, check out that link. It should actually come up in the series list now. So I'm excited about that. Once again, Molly went all out with the cover. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So I have to start thinking about what I want on the 9th book. Is this a Undertale song? It totally is. This is a remake of an Undertale song. All right, I'm gonna stop rambling, because, you know, that's what I'll just keep doing otherwise. I'm gonna turn on, we're gonna do another 30 minutes. I might not need a last 30 minute. I might, depending on how far I get this 30 minutes, we might only do 20 for the last sprint, but let's see. Let's do 30 minutes and see how far we get. I'm definitely enjoying the chiller pace today. Got distracted by my new diamond painting pen. Ooh, but that sounds exciting! Is it like a special pen? Do some of them have different functions? I don't know a lot about diamond painting, so I guess I'm not helping with not distracting you by asking all those questions. It gives light. Oh, nice! I bet that makes it easier to see where you're putting the diamonds. mind is a bit heavier than the one with you get with the painting kit. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I definitely, I cross-stitch. I show it off from time to time, and I definitely have, over the years, sort of, like, gotten new tools. So I used to just use the really, like, cheap, thin bamboo hoops that you can just get, like, for 10 of them for, like, a couple bucks at any craft store. But I switched to plastic rings. I don't know if you have any cross-stitchers here, but I switched to plastic rings, and they're much nicer because it holds the canvas in place really well, and I don't constantly have to, like, tighten it, which I really appreciate. Also, progress shot. There you go. The bird is coming together. You can see where the next thing is going to be. So yeah, I totally get that. You start with the kit and then you sort of work your way towards things that work better. Woof! Hello! How's it going? My mom cross-stitched for a little. Yeah, for some reason of all the crafts I've tried, because I've tried crocheting and it just doesn't catch me as much, but I really like cross-stitch. Woof, how's it going? Are you free for the weekend? Have you finished your work day? Heck yeah! I don't know why these emotes aren't coming up. Are they coming up on the stream? Maybe I just don't see them because I'm not in my... I'm not in the place. Browser. I'm not in browser. They aren't... Oh, they're showing for Woof? Okay, they're not showing for OBS. I might have to update something. I'll have to look at that in between. I'm doing good. My brain doesn't want to brain today, but it's, you know, we're getting there. I'm glad you're off for the week. I'm ready to be off for the week as well. I'm just clicking on all the wrong buttons. For anyone who doesn't see the emotes that Woof is using, they're supposed to come up in the chat box on stream. I'm not sure why they're not. But for anyone else who doesn't see them, you want to grab the extension 7TV. I believe that's where all those emotes are coming from. It's basically an extended emote thing for Twitch, and that's where all those emotes are. Yeah, they should be showing on the chat screen as well. I'm not sure why they're not, but as long as you're seeing them, I mean, that's the most important thing. I'll try and figure out why OBS isn't showing them at some point. Right. My brain just did a blue screen. Burnt. I'll pop over to Stream Elements and see if I can fix the overlay. The chat overlay is in there. I set this all up so long ago that I don't really remember how anything works. I'm not sure why. I'm still not sure why those emotes aren't working. I will talk to Ghost Pepper because I feel like they worked before. So probably an update changed something. I will try to figure that out. Another 500 words done. We're up to 1,600. It is going well, I think. I might be a bit slow today, but I'm getting there. I'm going to dig into this next creative tale, and if we can get a couple hundred words in on that, then we might only need 20 minutes to finish this off. I am excited, even if I don't sound excited. Oh, it's overcast today rather than haze. That's good to know. Oh, we got a storm moving in. 87% chance of rain in an hour. We'll see if that happens. We'll see. Alexis, how's it going? What is up? How are you? Just finished dinner. Nice. What was for dinner? We are having burgers tonight because Ghost Pepper is going to use the grill. Hopefully, if it doesn't rain. If it rains, we might have to reevaluate that. I'm just realizing, but we'll see. Fish sticks, spaghetti, and tomato. That sounds amazing. Ice cream. What flavor of ice cream? What's your favorite ice cream flavor? Not, although I guess you didn't necessarily have your favorite, but what did you have and is it your favorite? We are done with second sprint. We did during that sprint about 724 words. Not bad. We are up to 1,831, which is pretty bang on where we want to be. Probably want to do, let's see. Yeah, I probably want to do about 800 to 900 more words for this second origin story for the Lord of Magic. So we might try and do just a 20-minute sprint for our last one. We'll see how long I ramble here. But this is going well. My brain is taking this in small chunks, but it's going well overall. Clotted cream is what I had. My favorite is chocolate. Nice. My favorite is mint chocolate chip, although I don't get to eat it very much anymore because sadly they don't do dairy-free versions of mint chocolate chip anywhere. So I eat a lot of cookie dough ice cream, which is my second favorite. We're waiting for the sun to set so we can watch a movie. We bought a projector for movie nights. That sounds awesome! Do you have any particular movie in mind that you're gonna watch first? I was saying earlier that we are planning to watch through the John Wick movies because I've never seen them, but apparently there's lore, so I'm gonna be introduced to the John Wick lore. Lion King, since my daughter's in the play at school, that's awesome! Lion King is one of my top favorite Disney movies from when I was a kid. I watched The Lion King so many times. Who is she gonna be in the play? And are they gonna do the songs? Because the songs are my favorite. I might have that movie memorized. Rafiki? Is she gonna be Rafiki? Yes! Oh, Rafiki's so cool! That's awesome! Congrats to her. I love Rafiki. I think he's such a cool character. I actually don't know that much about baboons, but I do love the idea that they created like this kooky old fella to be to be Rafiki. He's like the old wise shaman. He knows all the secrets, but he won't tell you. not a full-blown with set in costumes. It's pretty sad to think we pay for these plays. Oh no. But I mean, the most important thing is that they have fun. I mean, I remember we had a fairly robust drama program when I was in school, but it was mostly like extracurricular. We didn't get class time out for it. All the money was raised by like the people who were involved with it, which is sad, but at least she gets to do it, right? They did Matilda and they just stood around and talked. Oh no. Gonna buy her a Rafiki costume so she's at least in costume. Well, that is awesome of you, for sure. I mean, I'm glad that she gets to do the play. I'm glad that the schools are doing plays. But yeah, it would be nice if they could get a budget for it. But it's real talk. It's hard sometimes. Like the people who run those drama programs. When I was in high school, and this was 20 years ago, when I was in high school / like you can imagine going back through, our drama program was basically 3 teachers who were not hired to teach drama. They were an art teacher, an English teacher, and a music teacher. And they were doing that. They were doing it in their spare time, right? It was all voluntary. All the students who participated were not, you didn't get time out of class for it. So it was all after school. It was all weekends. A lot of the sets were made by local, like, art volunteers. The budget was entirely based on ticket sales. And that was 20 years ago. And I know for the elementary school, like, I didn't know at the time, but I know for, like, the elementary and middle school, it was the same. It was a lot of teachers coming together to volunteer extra time to give the kids a chance to have that creative outlet. So I'm glad that they have it, but I do wish that they could find a budget. Like, I wish that the school would do more to support drama programs, because it's important. It's important for kids to have that creative outlet, and it sucks that you have to fight tooth and nail every inch. She's mad because she knows the budget is 0 and is mad that the teacher's cutting out her scenes to cut time. Oh, that sucks! Rafiki's such a cool character. We pay this lady top to teach them and the play, but she's like 90 and can barely move. Oh no. Well, like I said, I'm glad that they have a drama program, but I hope that they're able to expand it in the future because it makes a big difference. The people that I met through the band and chorus and drama programs in my schools are like the people that I still talk to today. And we were like the weird kids. I don't know if Wolf is still hanging out in the chat, but I know that this is partially his experience too. Like, we were the weird kids and we banded together. And that was like our creative outlet. That was our encouragement. And I definitely don't think I would do the kind of things that I do. I wouldn't do the writing and the creative stuff that I do today if I hadn't had some people in my life to encourage me to do that. And they weren't like the rogue teachers, but they kind of were like, you know, forcing the school district to let them do this stuff by saying, we'll get the money for it, we'll get the manpower for it, which sucks, but I've always been glad that we had people to go to bat for us. She writes her own plays at 7. That's amazing. I'm so glad that you encourage her to do all this stuff. Because seriously, if we don't encourage our kids to explore their creativity, they'll lose it. And I know too many people who were creative when they were young and they lost the passion for it because all they heard, I heard the same thing too. All they hear is there's no money in it. You have to do something else with your time. Like, that's for kids and stuff. And it's not. Like, we need stories. We need creativity. I don't know where people think movies come from, if not from storytellers, but like, I'm so glad that you encourage her and that she has someone to help her do those things and to encourage her to do those things. All schools care about is attendance and test scores. It's sad, but it's true. Especially the US system, I think, is particularly like it's all about memorization of the current unit, and then you just wipe out all that memory and cram new memory in for the next unit, and there's not really an in-between for anything. Yeah, the same people go to movies and plays and listen to podcasts and put art up on their walls, but they don't want to pay artists. Hollywood makes them. Yeah. And when there's a writer's strike, what happens? All the TVs and movies suck because they don't have writers to write them. It's almost like stories have to come from somewhere. They don't just magically appear. The script doesn't just magically appear on the coffee table one day and then someone goes, "Ah, yes, let's begin filming." Your TV show got canceled. Oh no. Oh no, I think I read that wrong. I think you're saying my TV show got canceled, thanks writers. But how would you make the show without the writers, yo? I remember we were watching way back during the original writer's strike, like, what was it, 12 years ago? 13 years ago? More? Back when Heroes was on TV. Heroes had a really amazing first season and a really shitty second season because the writers went on strike. And they ended up canceling the show because the second season didn't do well. But it was because they decided not to wait for the writer's strike to end before they continued the show for whatever reason. Studio probably, because whoever makes those decisions made a bad decision. But it really highlighted how important it is to have writers working on their passion projects. I read why they were striking, and it's effed up. Writers get little to no money for shows they write for Netflix, Disney, and Amazon. Yep. Back in the day, I don't know the exact details of this writer's strike, but back in the day when they originally went on strike and this happened, like, this is a repeat of what happened back then. Back then, they wanted literal pennies for new media. They weren't being paid for media that was being sold on the internet and posted on the internet. And they literally just wanted pennies on the dollar for their work going up on the web and having royalties coming in from the web. They literally just wanted a tiny cut of those royalties. And there was a massive writer's strike over it because the networks didn't want to pay. And yeah, the people who make all the money off of, you know, movies and TV shows and all that, mostly it's the front runners. Mostly it's the people that you see, right? Actors get paid a ton. The executive producer gets paid a ton. But none of that stuff would exist if someone didn't pull a story out of their head and put it down on paper. So, real talk, 100% support the writer's strike. Support writers. Remember when you're looking at, and remember too, like, I have so much art hanging in, you can see some of it in the background. I have so much art hanging in my house. Remember that someone spent years learning how to do that and how to put that together. And that's why it's $35 for a small print, because somebody had to learn how to make that print, and it takes years of time and practice and energy to get there, and it's worth it. Stories and art and everything, it's so worth your money. I can't stress enough. If you're willing to pay $8 for a grande caramel macchiato at Starbucks, you absolutely should be able to be willing to pay at least that much for a book, because that caramel macchiato takes 3 minutes to make and a book takes 5 years. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. These people think just anyone can write good. It's so easy, we can just do it. It takes so much time and practice. When you write for a TV show, there's a law that says they have to be paid a fair rate. Yeah, because of the writer's strike there is. I want art, but I don't have the money for it. I feel that in my bones. Actually, one of the things that I've started to be able to do only recently is to pay more towards creators and art prints and custom commissions, because these are things I've lusted after for much of my life but not had the budget for. But when somebody we need to get money for art, you should get money for art. When I see artists charging, $96, $110 for a commission, I don't question that. because it takes time and it takes practice. And I'm paying in part for the time that they learned to gain that skill. I don't drink coffee. Fair. It was a general you, of course. People are lazy. Because people are lazy, I get to make money writing. I'm getting a picture book illustrated for me because my artist friend gives me a discount and I'm her fave. Oh, that's amazing. I mean, obviously, totally, there are exceptions to everything. You know, if an artist wants to work with you and, like, you're going into a project together and they're not charging you, or they're charging you less because it's, like, a joint project, sure, cool. But in a general sense, like, I just want people to be aware. Like, if you pop in, there are so many amazing artists on Twitch. And if you pop into any one of their streams, pay attention to what they're doing. Because it might look like they're putting together a composition in an hour and it's amazing and all it took was an hour. But they probably spent years getting to the point where they could do that much in an hour. And we have so many amazing, like, artist friends. I know it's Mumbles who did the artwork for all of my emotes. She's amazing. She streams a lot. Delta Flareon is also amazing. She has a gorgeous anime art style. She does tons of anime and Pokemon and all that kinds of pics. Also streams it. She's amazing. There's so many other people who are on Twitch, and, like, just take a moment to appreciate, like, how much effort goes into what they do. Because art doesn't happen at the snap of fingers, and it's 100% worth more than we shell for it. She's my artist. I go nowhere else. Nice. She made the cover for my favorite fan fiction I'm writing. I spent 80 pounds on fan fiction. It's worth it, though. Yo. I'm jelly of artists, too. I can doodle, but that's about it. I've never devoted the time to it, which is on me. But I devoted my time to writing and to that aspect of creativity and to sort of perfecting that. I have to snap my fingers and make food will appear. Conquest. Cheers. If you can do that, cheers to you and developing the art skill that allows you to do it that quickly. I loved the art sheet that you posted for Kiona, by the way, Conquest. I know that Flutter is slow to reply because she has a really crazy schedule, but I know she really appreciates seeing those. So, yeah, tangent, but a worthwhile tangent. I'm always gonna be willing to get up on my soapbox and say art is important, drama is important. It's so important, and my heart dies every time I hear about a school that's struggling to keep the art program going, that's struggling to keep the drama program going. We had that stuff in our school because the teachers fought for it. The teachers got together and said, how can we make this happen? Where can we source the money for it? How can we keep this from being cut completely? And as the school board was cutting it out of class time, they were putting it into extracurricular time, which is hard for teachers, right? I'm married to a teacher. It's hard to have a bunch of extra stuff in after school time because you're making more work for yourself and you're not necessarily getting paid for it. But I appreciate the hell out of those teachers who got together and made that happen and let us have those creative outlets and those creative endeavors so that we would understand in the future, both what it took to make those things happen and how important those things are. And I know that there are people out there, community groups and stuff that still fight for kids to have that kind of stuff, but it's hard and it's not everywhere. And so it really seriously sucks when, you see these art programs and these drama programs continuously succumbing to the idea that education should just be factual knowledge. There's so much more to education. I'll post fanfic cover in Discord. Please do! I will check that out. Do I like the speed paints? Yeah, I like everything that you've ever posted, Conquest. I know I'm not always the best at replying to the art that gets posted in the Discord because I'm so busy that I only have a certain amount of Discord time per day. But everything that you've posted has been absolutely amazing. And I loved the little birthday thing that you made for me. I was sick, so I didn't get to, gush at all of the individual things that everybody posted. But I absolutely loved the little pop-up thing that you guys did for my birthday. It was amazing. Everything you guys post is amazing. My daughter's school just had a brand new theater built for them. That's cool. I mean, I hope that they're gonna put some budget into the stuff that they perform there if they just built the new theater. Conquest, thank you. Thank you for always sharing such gorgeous art and for being willing to put so much stuff together for the community. Because I know everybody appreciates that. I know everyone's busy right now and not always responding as much as they would like to, because I know Ghost Pepper is just barely keeping his schedule together right now. But we really appreciate all the art that you share, and not just the stuff that's related to Winds of Chaos, but I think I said this before, but I seriously loved that badger. I just want to adopt that badger because he was amazing. Our company's goal is to build a community center with a theater. That would be amazing. I love to see communities coming together to do that kind of stuff, because I don't know, if the government is going to decide it's not important, then sometimes the only way for us to keep that stuff alive is to go to bat for it ourselves. Which sucks, because if we could convince people, we should be able to convince people of the importance of things and that there should be budgets set aside for that kind of thing. But sometimes it's up to us, the community, to keep that stuff alive. Can't speed through this training and I gotta clock out in 12 minutes. I'll have to pick it back up next week. I mean, but that means next week you have another afternoon where you can watch training videos, right? Silver lining? Posted in writing chat. I'm gonna have to take a quick break here because I need to use the restroom, but let me take a look. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous! That's so pretty. The comforter. Yes, it looks so comfy. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that. That's so beautiful. I love the little notebook too. I need to get it to open in the... Discord doesn't like me right now. To get it to expand. That is so pretty. I love that. Absolutely worth every penny, I would think. Is that, I'm trying to think of the character's name. I feel like Woof has seen that show and talked about it so much. Is it like Ladybug? I have that in my room. I bought one and a notebook. It's gorgeous, and that comforter looks so comfy. Miraculous Ladybug and Cat Noir. Yes! Woof loves that show. I haven't gotten a chance to see it, but he raves about it. I'm writing a sad Ladybug fanfiction. That's amazing. That's amazing, Alexis. And I'm glad that you had an artist that put so much love and detail into the cover for it, because it's gorgeous. I've heard good things about it. I've heard very good things about it. I don't even remember how Woof found it, but I remember he saw a trailer for it and he fell in love with the design of the characters and ended up watching the show. Please do. Please do. And for anyone who's new to the Discord or doesn't know, you can feel free to post links in the writing chat. If you're looking for feedback on anything, there is a looking for feedback section. Hey, just put a not safe for work warning on any of the ones that are not safe for work, and it's totally fine. But yeah, there's a looking for feedback section if you want specifically feedback for anyone in the community to take a look at that. And then there's also just the writing section. If you're not looking for feedback, you can just throw the links up there. That reminds me, I have to tell somebody that I haven't forgotten about reading a thing for them. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm pretty sure we don't have any like under 18 people in the Discord. But I'm perfectly fine with adult content as long as there's some kind of like, hey, heads up, there's some adult content on here. If I hadn't written all these porno fan fictions, I would never have realized how good I am at writing romance, and I wouldn't be a ghostwriter. Hey, I am a big proponent of fan fiction. It's a great way to get started because all of the world building is done for you, right? All of the characters are there and just ready to be utilized, and you can cut out some of the process, some of the learning process, some of the management process involved in fiction and just get straight into the heart of it. I know some people who only ever write fan fiction because it's what they love and what they enjoy, and if that's your jam, cool. For me, I've always thought of fan fiction as training wheels, and I eventually moved on to creating my own worlds and doing the same thing, but in my own space. But lots of people like to just stick with fan fiction because it's comfortable and it makes them happy, and that's cool too. I have nothing against fan fiction, and I know for a fact that people who write fan fiction put the same amount of time and passion, energy into their creations as people who do original fiction. Don't talk over me, music. Hello. So yeah, absolutely 100%. Be proud of your fanfics. I'm going to take a quick break because I need to run to the washroom and I think my Fitbit is about to yell at me for not standing up for an hour. So I am going to just get up and stretch for about 2-3 minutes here. Please remember to grab something to drink. If you haven't eaten anything in a while, please eat something. Take care of this meat sack that you're driving through life, and we will come back and do one last sprint and finish off this whole creative project for the day. And then I'll take my own advice and do some lunch, but I will be right back. All right, we are back and ready to rock. Fanfics were my origin story too. Nice. I actually think a lot of writers start out with fanfiction. There's this whole like controversial debate over fanfiction, and I don't really know why people get so heated over it. But like fanfictions are valid. Fanfictions are writing. Like people put as much time and energy and effort and thought into that as anything else, sometimes even more. Like, sometimes fan fiction writers are so devoted to the worlds that they're telling in that they're even more careful than the original authors with their lore. Went to get my links for you, and I read someone added a chapter for my current fave fanfic. No worries. I just got back from break anyway. But yeah, I mean, I think honestly, the only difference between fanfic and, like, original fiction is you can't really sell fanfic because the world that you're writing in is owned by the original IP creator. And I think most fanfiction writers go into that knowing full well that, you know, the IP content that they're working with is owned by someone else, and they're doing this out of love and devotion, which frankly, you know, makes it even more amazing that people spend that much time. Anna, oh no! First of all, welcome. Hello, hello. Why can't you sleep, Anna? What's going on? What's happening? But literally that's it. The law states that, you know, when you create something, you own it, and if somebody wants to create fan works of it, they can't own the part of it that you own. That's how copyright law works. And that's literally the only difference is when you've finished a fanfic, you can't necessarily put it up on Amazon and sell it for money because you would be selling something that partially belongs to somebody else. That's it. That's the only difference between fanfiction and original fiction. There's no difference in the craft that goes into it. There's no difference in... Anna, thank you so much for that follow. You have nightmares? What? Did you watch something spoopy? I always get nightmares when I watch something spooky. I'm sorry to hear that you're having nightmares. Hopefully we can soothe them out of you. It's 3:48 a.m. Oh no, Anna, I'm so sorry. Also, Anne, hello. How are you doing, lady? I hope you're doing well. But yeah, no, that's literally the only difference between OG fiction and fan fiction. There's no quality difference between the two. I got my start writing Sailor Moon fan fiction, and I eventually took all of my original ideas and put them in a different world. Very heavily Sailor Moon inspired, but obviously not Sailor Moon. And I would never have done a lot of the things that I've done if I hadn't started out with writing fanfic, so... and I still also have tons of ideas for fanfic. I just never get time to write them because my OG characters are like, excuse me, you haven't finished writing my thing yet? You can't write something for somebody else. And I'm like, okay. All right, bud. I'm typing as fast as me fingers can go. I watched Mortal Kombat 1 trailer from the Summer Game Fest. Is that what gave you nightmares, Anna? Is that what gave you nightmares? If so, I'm gonna blame Joe, because I know he showed that on his stream. I'm gonna march straight into his chat this afternoon and say, Joe, you gave Anna nightmares. What are you doing? Oh no, Anna, I'm so sorry. Well, there's no blood here. There's no guts. There's no Mortal Kombat. Just nice, soft, chill. There's gonna be some clicky clackies in a minute. I hope those will maybe soothe you. I'm so sorry to hear that you're having a rough time. It sucks when you can't sleep, and it sucks in particular when the reason you can't sleep is nightmares, yeah. My brain went wonko for a second there. This is why I don't watch horror stuff, because I get nightmares and I don't sleep. And everyone's like, no, but horror's really great. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it is, but I like to sleep. Anna, I'm gonna get some clicky clacks going for you here. Malice wants to go outside. Is it less smoky, Exiled Fae? I assume it must be if you're taking Malice outside. Good luck. Good luck with Kitty outside. I hope he enjoys himself. Good. Glad to hear it. All right, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to turn on the 30-minute timer because brain is slow today. But by the end of the 30-minute timer, I basically want to be ready to end stream. So we're going to do 30 more minutes of stream. Hopefully, whatever comes out of my brain in that time comes out of my brain in that time. And then it'll be lunch for me. So let's get the 30 minutes going. 30 more minutes of me. Most of it hopefully clicky-clacking. Exiled Faye, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and I hope to see you next week. Good luck with the kitty outside. And we're gonna finish, I planned this while I was AFK, so we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna finish this secondary origin story for the Lord of Magic, which is going to involve a competition between him and the Celestial Mother of ever larger magical feats. Apparently I can't spell. Well, I spelled that so wrong where I just didn't know what it is. The link to my fanfiction is in Writer's Resource in Discord, but be warned, some of them are straight up porns. Not all, or at least I think. Be sure to check what I have done. It's my favorite. Thank you for sharing, Alexis. I will check those out after stream. Time to get movie night sorted. Enjoy the movie, Alexis. Thank you so much for hanging out and sharing your links with us. I super appreciate it. What Have I Done is the fan fiction I bought the cover for. Don't forget to leave kudos and comments. Will do. The chapter I read was so good, I told her she should write romance novels. That's amazing. See you later, Alexis. Please take care. Enjoy movie night. Celery is part of the umbellifer family? Did I say that right? A plant species that is very poisonous. Hemlock, the poison that Socrates ingested, is a member of the celery family? I mean, celery is like a core component in many, many dishes. So, there you go. Celery, just a deception by Big Hemlock, I guess. Celery contains sorolins, a type of chemical that could, if applied directly to the skin, cause it to become highly sensitive to UV light. Interesting. Just wanted to share some celery knowledge. I have never heard these things about celery before. I don't eat a lot of celery. I do know that if you only ate celery, you would starve to death because it takes more energy to consume celery than you actually gain from the consumption of celery. So there you go, something to add to your celery knowledge. Tengri, hello! I be lurking but wanted to say thanks for your advice the other day. I think I have a good third-ish in my head figured out now. Do you ever go back to pen and paper like on road trips for writing down ideas? I actually do my first idea dump into my day planner. So you won't be able to read this because, one, my handwriting is really bad, and two, it's going to be pretty blurry, but I actually do my initial info dumps straight into my day planner. Let me find the most recent one. There we go. That, this whole page here on this side is the first third of a novel that I'm gonna eventually outline digitally. So I totally write stuff down all the time. Especially if I don't have anything digital with me. I used to always keep a notebook in my purse. I'm a little bit better at holding on to things now until I can get back to somewhere to write them down. But 100%. And also, I'm so glad that my advice helped you. I'm so glad that you've got some stuff flowing for you. That's amazing. I'm glad to hear that. That's honestly what I'm here for, is just to help people in any small way that I can. And if that's just to help shake free some of the ideas, excellent. This is turning out to be way longer than I anticipated it would be, but I'm also very happy with how it's coming out, so... Baby Squid Queen of Hell, hello, hello. How's it going? We are almost done for the day. We're about to wrap up soon so I can go do lunch, but it's nice to see you. How's it going? I'm assuming it's Saturday morning for you. Or maybe Friday morning, depending on what your time zone is. I can never remember where you are in relation to me. Time zones. Saturday morning for me, just got up having some coffee. Nice! I'm finishing up the last of my coffee too. Cheers. It is French vanilla this morning. Done. Whew, that was many more words than I expected, but I'm happy with how that came out. Started there. That was 1,229 words to the end there. Glad I went with the 30-minute sprint. That puts us at 3,060 words for the whole stream, and considering how much my brain did not want to brain today, I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy with how that came out. This is the origin story for Queach, the Lord of Magic and Beasts in Cryptonia, in the Cryptonia universe. So that will be going into the queue for my blog. What I'd like to do with the next of these, hopefully next week, is thank you, Baby Squid Queen of Hell. Appreciate it. You have caramel coffee? Caramel coffee is my favorite. Hopefully what we'll do, hopefully next week, I have to look at my schedule and see what's going on. But what I'd like to do is, now that we have developed Tauldar and Queach, the sort of creative and destructive forces in the pantheon, I'd like to do another sort of story, kind of like I did with the Celestial Mother and the Reaper, and tell a little bit of a story about sort of the ongoing war between Queach and Tauldar, and how it sort of affects the greater lore of the pantheon. So that's one thing I'd like to do. We still have 2 gods that we haven't introduced that we're going to get to as well. We have Emerald, who is basically the trickster god, which I'm really looking forward to developing him, because there's some interesting lore between him and Agos as well, the war god. And we have the Lost One, who is a very mysterious being, kind of new to the pantheon, to kind of throw a wrench in the works. So we're going to spend probably a couple more weeks on this. It's actually going to end up being a significant chunk of the year that we develop the lore for the Pantheon. But after that, I want to start getting into some of the stuff that the players have added to the game since we started playing. We're actually kind of a little bit on a hiatus right now, because some of the players' schedules have changed, and we haven't really... I've also needed a break from planning because we've had so much going on. So we haven't been playing as much recently, but I'm feeling really good about getting this lore developed, about getting new sessions planned for them, getting back into everything. So we will have much, much more Cryptonia stuff to do moving forward. But I'm really excited to get into some of the back and forth between Queach and Tauldar, because they're 2 gods that I haven't gotten to spend a lot of time with yet. Thank you. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I kind of did the spiel, but Cryptonia is a homebrew Dungeons and Dragons world that I made. I pitched it as Indiana Jones in space. The idea is that instead of being planes, like fantasy planes, each plane is a planet. And travel between the planets is accomplished via a hyperspace train network. There's already been an attempted heist on one of the trains, because of course you have to have a train heist if you have trains. Like, that's how it goes. Basically the players are sort of searching for the origins of Cryptonia's ability to travel through the stars without the hyperspace train network. I'm really happy with how my players have engaged with the world so far. I'm super excited to get back to it. And definitely stuff like this really, really gets my creative juices flowing for it. So I'm looking forward to, when things settle down a bit, getting back into that. But now, it is lunchtime for me. I have to go get some food. I have certainly, oops, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. I've certainly enjoyed this. I really appreciate you guys letting me ramble about my lore and my life and all that other stuff in between clicky clackies. Anna, I hope you got some sleep, or get some sleep in the future. Please take care of yourself. I love D&D so much. It's such the best. It's so hard to find time to play. I think the most challenging thing about Dungeons and Dragons is getting everyone's schedules to align, but when the stars do align, it's so much fun. Thank you, Baby Squid Queen of Hell, and thank you for coming to hang out. I hope you have a fabulous Saturday. I'm gonna see who is on Twitch at the moment. Hopefully you won't double hear me. Let's see who we haven't raided in a while. let's pop over to Travis Tavern because I have not raided him in quite some time. He is super chill, super fun. Also one of like the first writers that I found here on Twitch. So let's head over and say hey. Another great productivity stream where you can hang out, get some work done. Did I spell that right? If you have my emotes, you can use the octopus cheer emotes or any of my other emotes, really. If you do not have my emotes, you can use the other raid call or any raid call that you want, really. It's not about the emotes, it's all about the love. So we're gonna go say hey to Travis, and I am gonna hang out there while I eat some potato salad because there's potato salad in my fridge, and I'm gonna have some, and it's gonna be great. Please enjoy your weekend. I probably won't be back until next week. I'm not sure what the schedule is gonna be yet. I wanna say it's probably gonna be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday again, but keep an eye on the about section and the schedule section below, and or the Discord or my Twitter, because that's where I say where I'm going live. But there will be a schedule posted on Sunday. We're hopefully going to do 3 streams again next week. Hopefully things have settled down a little bit more now that I've gotten a few extra projects out of the way and Ghost Pepper's schedule is settling down. But until I see you again, please have a fabulous weekend. Please take care of yourself, eat, drink, be merry. And I hope the creative juices continue to flow for you wherever you are until we meet again. Take care, my friends. I love you all. You're amazing.